afternoon. Sorry,
Shall I kick off? Nice to see you, Mark. How you doing, alright?
Fine, thanks.
Just a couple of general ones for Sky, if that's alright. Main one is just about the manager of the year. It's the sort of thing that is obviously discussed at this time of the year. Have you got any thoughts about who you feel should be manager of the year, and maybe why?
I can't vote for myself.
Other than yourself, of course.
No, I think these things need to be chosen at the end when all eventualities are known. I think it's a lot of times all teams, players, individuals, managers get a lot of applaud. It's maybe a little bit too early and the whole season hasn't been played out, so it can skew people's perception of how well or how indifferent they've done. So I'm not sure when it's awarded or when the decision is made, but obviously it's given out at the end of the year. But difficult to say. I mean, there's any number of candidates that spring to mind, but the key is just to wait till the end of the season and see how the whole season pans out.
Is that your version of sitting on the fence,
Yeah.
do you think?
Which I do on a regular basis. I think it's when you've got a lot of resources, sometimes obviously you've got more chance of winning things, and obviously that shapes people's view on who should win the manager of the year. Usually it's somebody who's won a trophy, but it's actually the job done at the lower level is sometimes a lot harder, and the managers who are able to do a good job at a level just below the top six sometimes more deserving as it was last year. So it may well be that that's the situation this year. People will take that into account and see the job that any number of managers maybe just below the top have done this year.
And you're quite right, of course, there's a number of issues still to be settled, and that will, I guess, in the end determine that.
Of course.
Okay, and just on the fair play table, doing something on that today, Stoke City.
Not very fair.
Yeah. What do you think of
the name for it?
What do you think of it? Do you take it seriously? You're 17th. Stoke 17th.
Well, I've long stopped paying attention to it, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's representative of. There's so many elements to it. Behaviour of players, behaviour of officials, behaviour of fans. I mean, we get marked down because we sing a Tom Jones song with a bit vociferously. So I mean, those are sound ridiculous. It is. So I mean, it's not something we place much credence to be perfectly honest. I think it could be simplified. Yeah, I think it could be a lot more relevant, but because of all the different elements to it, I think it's not something we pay too much attention to be perfectly honest.
Could it be a sort of force for good though, if it was done in the right way?
Yeah, I think it could. Yeah, but
what would you like to see specifically?
Not in its current form. Like I said, I think there's too many elements to it. It needs to be simplified, and people have a better understanding. People think it's just about the dirtiest team in the league. It's not about that. It's about other elements. But I think you need to simplify it. I mean, we're towards the bottom of the league. We haven't had a red card this year. We had a few yellow cards, mate, but even that we can question. So I mean, I don't think it represents what it's supposed to be good.
Thanks a lot. Injury-wise, how are you looking for this weekend?
Well, unfortunately, we lost Mark Mooney yesterday just to a slight strain in his hamstring, which is a shame, because he was certainly in my thoughts with the remaining games that we've got. But we don't. It's nothing like the injury he had 4 or 5 weeks ago. So it's just a little bit of tiredness in there. But, obviously, because it's on a Friday before a Saturday game, he's going to miss out, unfortunately. But apart from that, Mark Wilson just got a bang on his wrist again, which obviously is irritated, and it's in a cast as we know. Broke it a couple of weeks back, but hopefully that'll settle down overnight and he'll be okay. And funny enough, Ed Peters had a bang on his wrist as well, which he's had surgery on, so that's going to be a little bit sore as well. But we feel both of those will be available.
Nobody else?
No, I think everybody else, apart from long-term injuries, everybody else is available.
And one of them, Peter Odemwingie, is he back training at the moment?
Yeah, Peter's trained with the group fully 2 sessions now, and Please obviously came through yesterday, and he's trained, as I said, fully with the group, did everything once again today, so he's very much back with the group, and we're all delighted. It's great to have him back. Big miss this season for us to lose him so early in the season. He came here this time last year and made a huge impact on the team, and we could have done it with him on more occasions this year, but we're grateful that he's back to where he was. Basically now it's just a case of getting him game time, getting him up to speed with the group, and once he does that, then hopefully I can get him on the pitch before the end of the season. That's the hope. I think it'd be good for him, certainly be good for us if we can get him back on the pitch.
I mean, time is not exactly on your side in that respect, so
no.
what sort of timetable do you think is realistic?
Well, I mean, he's back with the group now. I would imagine, just to make sure he's fine and confident and in the injury and in his recovery, which is no reason why he shouldn't be. I would imagine he'll need at least another couple of weeks, so that will allow him an opportunity to get games before the end of the season.
So given where you are in the league, dare we say that you look reasonably safe, more than. Is the next few weeks an opportunity for you to start looking at next year, or are you still very much focused on what you're going to do this time?
No, we're very much focused on what's ahead of us this year. We time and time again talk about the targets that we set ourselves at the beginning of the year. They're very much in our mind. A lot of focus, obviously, and rightly so, is shown on the top and the bottom. The middle gets a bit overlooked, but we've got our own challenges and our own things that we want to chase and achieve this year, as we always do. So the targets and goals that we set ourselves at the beginning of the year are very much still there for us. So that's a challenge for us, that we're able to keep our focus. I was really pleased, obviously, with our performance at West Ham. I thought we showed real strength of character. If we were a team that was looking too far ahead to the break, then we wouldn't have been able to score as late as we did against West Ham last week, and I think that shows that we're very much focused on what we have to do right to the end.
I know you set a new record last year for Premier League, but I'm sure you'd be keen to at least match, if not surpass that this time.
Yeah, well, that was the goal. Yeah, certainly that's what we set ourselves. We wanted to obviously progress, and you show that by beating standards and levels that you've hit before. So that was the challenge for us this year, and we've still got an opportunity to do it. So given we've been hampered somewhat with the injuries that we've had this year, more so than we did last year, so if we can do it this year and beat the total that we got in the Premier League, that I think it'd be more satisfying this year than last year, because of the key players that we missed for extended periods. So that's the challenge for us. Can we do it? We'll soon find out.
Well, Southampton, you talked about potential candidates for managers of the year. Ronald Koeman would be on many people's shortlist if he gets the job done and gets them into a position they've not been in before.
Yeah,
what sort of challenge are they for you this weekend? What jobs?
Yeah, big challenge. He's done an outstanding job. I mean, I think there was some talk that obviously they had a lot of disruption. They lost a number of key players, or made the decision to sell them for good money, and to change of management. So there was a lot of change going on, but people were suggesting that they might be in trouble this year and possibly get relegated. But I never saw that at all at any stage, because I think they were just above us. They're eighth in the Premier League. They sold good players, but reinvested the money. I think they spent something like £60 million on replacements. So from my view, they were never ever going to be in trouble this year. So I think people have to remember that. But even so, you still have to recruit well. That's all part of being a good club, good-run club. You have to get the right people in. That includes the manager, which they certainly have done. So they've had a great season, and like ourselves, they're pushing to try and improve on what they did last year. So I think that's why it'll be a good game tomorrow. I think both clubs certainly have still things to play for. It's not just a dead rubber, so to speak. It's not just fulfilling a fixture for either team tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I think you picked up 1 point in 12. Is there a danger your season could taper off from here if you're not very careful?
No, not at all. Prior to that, we got we've got 9 out of 9. So I mean, we just come through a period where the last 4 games we've had 3 away from home. So we're really pleased that we're back up in Britannia. We've got 2 back-to-back home games now, so good opportunities for us to make our maximum points. So we're looking forward to it.
And just a couple of things on individuals. I mean, you're going to be linked with all and sundry virtually every day from now until, well, when the window shuts in August, I guess. Can I just throw a couple of names at you? I'm not sure I can pronounce them, but let's call him Moha from Barcelona. And Barcelona is another link that you seem to have forged in the last couple of years. Is there anything in that?
Yeah, there's hope that we'll be able to conclude that deal. It's where we find ourselves at the moment. We're trying to improve the quality of the under-21 group. He's a good young player. He's one we think we can bring to the club, so we'll try and pursue that one. And it looks very hopeful. We're actively looking to increase the quality of the under-21 development group, because we feel that's what we need to do, so that we've got good young players, obviously playing well for the under-21s, developing with Glenn Hodges, but still pushing to try and get in my squad. So we'll probably Wally Shenton and a couple of the other lads. That's all we've had this year. So we need more pushing and more young players developing. So we're actively in the market to try and get good young players here for the future.
I mean, apart from maybe confirming how you do pronounce his full name for us, if you could. What are the qualities you've seen?
Well, he's a good young player. He's predominantly left-footed. He's good ability, 1v1. He's got good pace. He ticks a lot of the boxes that we're looking for in good young players. Right through the age groups, we're looking to increase the quality and the pace that we have in those age groups, and he ticks almost every one of the boxes. So we're quite hopeful that we can get it concluded, and once he's here, then we'll hope to develop him and push him towards the first team. Very
much one for the future, or?
Yeah, absolutely. He's not one that's going to go straight into my team, but it's been a view in the future, hopefully, that will happen.
And Daniel Voss, that was another name I noticed?
That's one of the names that have been bandied around. It's not one that's I've got that much information on.
And just one other, one that's already here, very much so, but for how much longer? Some are asking. Asmir Begovic, his contract, where are you with that?
We're scheduled to have talks with Asmir's people next few weeks, I think. So it is what it is. I think both parties have stated that those talks will take probably at the end of the year. Will come to a conclusion at the end of the season. And we're very hopeful that Asmir will stay here. I get asked that question every week, same answer. It's we want him to stay. We'll see if we can obviously make Asmir feel that his future lies here. We tick a lot of boxes there. Asmir as an outstanding keeper, a keeper that's ambitious. We tick a lot of boxes for him. So we're very hopeful that come the summer, when those talks are concluded, we'll be able to keep him.
Although lots of big names seem to be connected with him, such as his quality, it's going to be quite hard to fend those off, isn't it?
Well, there will be speculation around better players at football clubs. That happens. We're no different. He's attracted attention because he's an outstanding goalkeeper, so that doesn't surprise anybody. But we're very hopeful that we can show Asmir what he needs for the next stage of his career, and what we can offer is we'll be able to fulfil those needs from Asmir as a top keeper.
Thanks. The documentary goes out in 2 weeks' time.
Right.
On to Damien.
That's right. Good.
Well done.
Mark, quick question.
Sorry.
Sorry. Hi. I've just got a couple of separate ones. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp has announced this week that he's moving on from Dortmund. Lots of talk about the possibility of him coming to the Premier League. If he did come to the Premier League, could you see him making a big impact? Do you think he'd be a big hit here?
Possibly. A lot of foreign coaches want to come to the Premier League. It's very attractive to them. He's a big character, big personality, seems. I don't know the guy personally. I've met most of the top coaches in Europe, and met him. But But he's had a good record, probably apart from this year, where he's had a real struggle. Maybe that suggests the way he works for a certain period, but he's had to obviously handle the loss of key players in his time, because that's what happens in Germany. Invariably, Bayern Munich come and take you better players and strengthen themselves and weaken you as an opponent. So he's obviously had to manage through that. But he's had great success in Europe, and the top clubs, I'm certain, will be looking at him, top 6 clubs, because that's what they want. They want people who've had Champions League experience and done well in that competition, and that seems to be a prerequisite before they even start discussing who might come and go. So it wouldn't surprise me if the top clubs are looking at it.
The other thing I was going to ask is, Kick It Out published some figures over the last couple of days about social media abuse directed at footballers, sort of like the levels of it, quite sort of shocking figures. So I was just wondering whether you would welcome tougher sanctions against the kind of people that are behind that, kind of people that...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the internet's difficult to police, as we well know, but anything racist, homophobic, even in general life, it should be stamped on and rooted out, and it's not acceptable. In fact, people can hide behind their computers, and the internet makes it more difficult to manage and stop, but there needs to be a role on people, if they can, and there's the means to stop this happening, then it should be encouraged.
Just two other things quickly. We spoke about Begovic there for quite a while. There was actually a claim from Spain this week that Real Madrid's people are already negotiating with Adrian Begovic's people. Can you sort of dismiss that? Is that true or not?
There'll be a lot of story bandied about. I'll take that with a pinch of salt, to be perfectly honest, but no, I don't think that's true.
And is there any update on Victor Moses? You said likely to be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Victor's back at his parent club, back at Chelsea, and obviously they're managing his injury at the moment. But the feeling is that he won't be able to come back before the end of the season, unfortunately. But it's a shame, because he's been a real impact for us, and he's done really well here. But unfortunately, we've lost him on a couple of occasions to injuries. So it's a shame, but he'll come back stronger, I'm sure.
You talked about Victor Moses there, but you also talked about earlier about knocks to Eric Peters, Mark Wilson, Mark Muniesa. Did those injuries occur during training, or was it a competitive game?
They all occurred today.
Today, yeah.
In training. One was a ball on the end of the hand. Another when Mark Wilson slipped and fell on his broken arm, and Mark Muniesa just pulled up tight. Those things happen day in, day out. There's nothing to do with the training or what we're doing. It's just circumstances, unfortunately.
Do you feel you've been unlucky with sort of injuries this season, short term?
I felt that way today, I have to say. Yeah, certainly on a Friday, you don't expect 3 guys that are going to be playing the left back position to get injuries. But as I said, we're hopeful 2 of them will be okay. It's just bumps and bruises, and bangs and stresses and strains. So hopefully they'll be able to get over them, and they'll be available. Obviously Mark's out, but the other 2 should be okay.
But if not, is the depth of squad with
well, hopefully we don't lose 3 on a Friday morning, which I don't think has happened on too many occasions. But yeah, we've still got options, even if they all miss out, which I don't anticipate they will. So we will be okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.